How frustrating is it to always be rushing out the door, always feel like you're missing appointments or scrambling to explain why you're late again? It's more than just an inconvenience. It's embarrassing, stressful, it's freaking draining. But what if I told you there's a way to change all that? Today, I'm going to share a simple but powerful strategy that will help you manage your time, reclaim your confidence, and reap the rewards of being on time more often. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn ADHD into your entrepreneurial secret sauce. I'm Mina Raver, and today we're diving into a topic that can be a real challenge for those of us with ADHD: why we're late to everything. First, let's talk about why people with ADHD often struggle with tardiness. It's easy to think that being late is just a matter of poor planning or not caring enough. Of course, that's not the case. The real issue often comes down to something called time blindness. That's an unofficial but widely used term for doesn't sense the passage of time consistently. Without a consistent frame of reference for the passage of time, it's hard to accurately estimate how long things will take. And this can lead to consistently being late, even when you don't intend to be. I mean, when do we ever intend to be late? Fashionable? I don't know. So, why does time blindness make us late? Most people, over the course of their lives, naturally develop a kind of reference for how long things take. They have both a relatively consistent sensation of the passage of time and a consistent firing of executive function, those cognitive processes that help you turn the desire in your mind into a physical action. But ADHD is characterized by disordered executive function, which means it takes different strategies to help you prioritize, start, and complete tasks on cue. Plus, that time blindness has kept you from building a frame of reference to judge how long things actually take you. You might think you have plenty of time to get ready, so you spend the first half of it wrapping up a previous project. But then you get distracted, lose track of time, and suddenly you're rushing to make your appointment. Another factor is the way we approach time management in general. Most people are taught to use what's called the time due method. This means you focus on when something is due, like what time you need to be at a meeting or an appointment. But this method leaves you with the entire cognitive load of working backward to figure out when to start getting ready, what tasks you need to do before you leave, and how long each of those things will take. This can be completely overwhelming and deeply skewed, and it's easy to see how things can slip through the cracks, especially when you're in a rush, which is, let's be honest, always. Maybe you get caught up with something else, or you misjudge how long it will take you to find your keys, and before you know it, you are late. The time due method puts all the load on your mind to remember every single step and manage your time perfectly from start to finish. Something that's especially challenging if you have ADHD, but it's really hard for everyone. You're a creative thinker, not a linear processor, and that affects you negatively for situations like processing everything that leads up to arriving punctually. So, what's the alternative? Enter the time to start method. Instead of focusing on when something is due, this method has you focus on when you need to start preparing. It's a proactive approach that takes the cognitive load off and helps you manage your time more effectively from start to finish. Here's how it works. Let's say you have an appointment at 3 p.m. Instead of thinking, I need to leave here by 3, the time to start method has you think, what time do I need to start getting ready to leave the house? You work backward from the appointment time, factoring in all the steps you need to take before you can walk out the door. This might include things like getting dressed, packing your bag, finding your keys, and commuting, even wrapping up the previous project. If all of that typically takes 45 minutes, your time to start might be 2 p.m. or even earlier. But again, keeping everything all in your head is a recipe for disaster. So the first step for the time to start method is actually to break down the tasks you need to complete. Start by listing out everything you know you need to do before you leave the house. This could be as simple as getting dressed and grabbing your keys, or it could include more steps like feeding the dog, checking your email one last time, or making a quick call. Once you have your list, estimate how long each step will take. Please be realistic here. It's better to overestimate than underestimate. If getting dressed usually takes you 10 minutes, but sometimes takes 15, go with the longer time or even go up to 20. Add up all these times to figure out when you need to start. This is your time to start for the entire task of getting ready and out the door. Step number 2 is to set alarms for your time to start. This is a crucial part of the process because it takes the pressure off your memory. Instead of having to remember when to start getting ready or when you should complete each step, you'll have an external reminder that keeps you on track. Set an alarm for when you need to start getting ready. Set another one for when you need to leave, and set anything important in the interim. These alarms act as your external cues, helping you stay aware of the passage of time and reducing the chances of getting distracted or losing track of time and ending up late. Pro tip, add this buffer to your calendar. Don't just schedule the event from start to finish. Include the time you need to get ready and travel. You'll be glad you did. Step number 3, practice and adjust. Like any new behavior, the time to start method might take a little time to get used to. You might find that you need more or less time than you originally thought, and that's okay. The key is to be patient with yourself and make adjustments as needed. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on how things went. Were you on time for your appointments? Did you feel rushed or stressed? Use this reflection to tweak your time to start times and fine-tune your approach. Over time, you'll find that you're not only more on time, but also less stressed out about getting to places. You may feel uncomfortable having to take the time to do each of these things. Please don't. It's okay. So why does the time to start method work so well for people with ADHD? It works because it reduces the cognitive load, the amount and complexity of mental processing. Instead of trying to juggle all the steps in your head while you're thinking of everything else and manage the time for each one, which is high cognitive load, you're outsourcing that load off your memory and onto your tools. Now your mind can wander freely as you follow your own instructions and time boundaries. By focusing on when to start instead of when something is due, you're setting yourself up for success. You're taking control of your time rather than letting time control you. And that's a game changer for anyone who struggles with time blindness. Being late does not have to define you. By understanding how time blindness impacts your schedule and using the time to start method, you can take control of your time and reduce the stress of always feeling behind. Remember that it's not about perfection here. It's about making progress and setting yourself up for success every day. Self-mastery is a long-term commitment. Every time you use the time to start method, you're taking control of your schedule and you're setting yourself up for greater success and satisfaction. And over time, punctuality will become a habit, not a struggle. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with someone who you think will also benefit. You can also click the little bell to get notifications, and you'll be aware when I post new content, which is weekly. And if you're ready to dive even deeper into how to leverage ADHD for your entrepreneurial success, check out the resources I've linked in the description below. I'm Mina. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us on Productive with ADHD. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And please click that thumbs up button below. We'd really appreciate it. And if you're ready to take your productivity to the next level with tools designed just for you, a high-achieving professional with ADHD, then download the Better CEO app available on both Apple and Android. You'll find those links at betterceo.app and in the show notes. See you next time with more insights and strategies to help you make ADHD your unfair advantage.